I get money in my sleep, I could never be weak.
Let me ask you a question, boys.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, welcome to a reaction video. Yours truly, your boy Bush. Look at the evil. Man, we about to react to some Clinton 19 most craziest moments during their Epstein testimony. Both of them together, Bill Clinton and Hillary. You know, Bill Clinton, hey, Bill Clinton's black, man. He played the saxophone. Yeah. And Hillary Clinton, yeah, she black. She got her hot sauce in her bag. Had everybody fooled. Just check out this testimony. Shout out to Law and Crime for putting it down. And after that, we're gonna look at some Joe Rogan clips that I wanted to check out. Man, there's some stuff going on as usual. Bush about to give you that other perspective. But look at the evil. Like I said, shout out to Law and Crime. Let's get into it, though.
This interview.
No.
I don't believe so.
Former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton face off against a congressional committee in separate depositions on the Epstein saga. And we have some of the most fiery moments all caught on tape. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
Law and Crime.
By the way, if you're putting things out on social media, if you're into content creation, you might be wondering how we're able to share so much. There is no evidence, nothing in the files, nothing that's been released that suggests the Clintons were aware of any illegal activities or were a part of any illegal activities on the part of Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell.
Come on now, give me a break.
Or her knowledge of Epstein's crimes. I just want to make that clear. And by the way, there was no evidence even that Bill or Hillary had visited Epstein's island. Now, having said that, a lot of this focus is on Bill Clinton rather than Hillary Clinton, right? I mean, remember, aside from the humanitarian work, remember when photos were released, him in a hot tub, him getting a massage or back rub. So with that being said, the committee released the videotape depositions of both Bill and Hillary Clinton from last week.
Bill got that same smile on his face that he had on when they asked him about Monica Lewinsky doing him up in the Oval Office. Same smile, same little smirk.
Hours and hours worth of footage. We dissected to some of the more memorable parts of both of their testimonies on separate days, okay? Now, I've said this before, I'll say it again. I believe, okay, there is one thing to read about testimony. There's one thing to read the transcript of testimony. There is an entirely different experience actually seeing the testimony, the way somebody.
Oh, what up, B-Rap? Your mic is muted. Testimony of the evil Clintons. Let's get down to business, man. What's goody? You good? Oh, barely.
Yep. Just getting my stuff in order, but yeah, man, good to go. What you up to?
Oh man, about to get into these 19 most outrageous, shocking moments of the Clinton testimony. Then I got a couple of other clips to get into. People getting real scared of this whole war going on in Iran and stuff. You know what I mean? Trump is going crazy out here, putting it down.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty awesome because he's going around just mopping up all the scumbags because, you know, when he gets out of office in 2.5 years, there's no guarantee that anybody that's coming behind him is going to handle business. So he's got to go and take care of as much bullshit as he can before he gets out. So that way it's done because nobody else is going to do it.
Salute to the soldiers and all the people out there repping for America. So first of all, you know, we lost a few soldiers, but that's just what happens in war. You know, my friend's son just got deployed out there too in the Navy. So salute to all them people, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Salute and God bless, man. Like we've already had, the last time I saw it was six U.S. soldiers have died. A bunch more hurt, but yeah, man, it's getting real quick.
Casualties of war is sad, but that's what it is.
Yes. sir. This is huge, you know, like the entire Middle East, almost all of the Middle East is down with America at this point, you know. So they're all backing us, that's wild, you know what I mean? But when it's all said and done, bro, it looks like we may actually have peace in the Middle East. You know, like Iran is the number one sponsor of state-sponsored terrorism across the world. They're the ones who fund all of the bad guys, Hezbollah, fucking the Houthis, like, you know, all of them, fucking the guys in Palestine and shit. Like, they're all funded by Iran. So, like, if you take Iran out of the picture, you're going to have 90% of the terrorism across the world is just going to stop the next day. So, you know, all the Middle Eastern countries, the big ones, they're getting down. And then Iran is just bombing everybody around them anyway. So that's even more of a reason for the Middle Eastern countries to get down against them.
You think majority of Americans are happy about this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, whether, you know, you'll see people in the news of Democrats or lefties all mad, but no, majority of Americans are absolutely happy about this. And more importantly, the world is happy about this. And the Iranians, you know, the regular everyday civilians that have been getting fucking tortured and kept as fucking basically as prisoners in their own country under some psychotic, you know, regime. And they're very happy now. So, you know, it's funny though to see people in Iran jumping around, dancing and happy and chanting Donald Trump's name and chanting USA. And then you have people in America who are mad at Donald Trump for this. Meanwhile, the people who are, you know, suffering, they're happy. But the leftists in America, they're upset because Donald Trump's a bad guy.
Well, I've seen some people in Iran not happy too, so we can't.
Yeah. No, of course, there's a couple of people not happy, but, you know, they killed 35,000 people in the last 2 months because because they spoke out against the regime. So I would imagine majority of the people in their country are happy that this piece of shit is finally dead. But yeah, you'll always find someone who's not happy, but this is a big win for Iran and for the world.
Word up. All right, let's get into a little content on that real quick since we talk about it.
BBC News special report.
Good morning. Phillips, we're coming on the air, taking you straight to the Oval Office. President Trump meeting with the German chancellor, the first world leader to meet face-to-face with Trump since the attacks on Iran, a war that's showing no signs of ending anytime soon, and travel out of the region much more difficult.
I said, y'all, in Dubai, y'all better get the hell out of there. That's all I know. It's too hot right now.
Yeah, get out anywhere out there. Don't be in the Middle East if you're an American.
For sure. Let's see. Yeah. Trump speaking on it.
Let's listen in.
Very strong. We've been able to do our deals, and it's been very strong. We'll obviously be talking a little bit about Iran today, and he's been helping us out. We've been very nice, actually. And that is coming along, as you see, very well. They have no Navy. It's been knocked out. They have no Air Force. It's been knocked out. They have no air detection. That's been knocked out. Their radar has been knocked out. And just about everything's been knocked out. So we'll see how we do, but they're doing very well. We have a great military and doing a fantastic job. So we'll be talking about that. And we're talking about some very big trade deals. And those I know will work out too. So I just want to say it's a great honor to have you at the Oval Office. The beautiful Oval Office, beautiful White House. It's a special place, even from your standpoint. And you have some very special places too. And I look forward to being with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President, for having me here in this Oval Office for the third time now.
Yeah.
Really happy to have the opportunity to speak with you in these challenging times.
Trump is going to take some questions, so let's just get to that.
Did Israel force your hand to launch these strikes against Iran? Did Netanyahu pull the United States into this war?
No, I might have forced their hand. You see, we were having negotiations with these lunatics, and it was my opinion that they were going to attack first. They were going to attack. If we didn't do it, they were going to attack first. I felt strongly about that. And we have great negotiators, great people that do this very successfully and have done it all their lives very successful. And based on the way the negotiation was going, I think they were going to attack first. And I didn't want that to happen. So if anything, I might have forced.
You believe that?
That if America hadn't made preemptive moves, that Iran would have attacked eventually. Yeah, of course. That's what they do. You know, they're always looking to attack the Western world, specifically the United States. But you know, they've been doing this for years. You know, like they started making you know, uranium and stuff, you know, and using atomic energy and stuff, and they were told, you know, you can only get it up to, you know, 59% or something like that. But once it reaches 60%, it becomes weapons grade, and they're not allowed to have that based on the UN and NATO and all that shit. So they were told not to go that high with it, and they said okay, but they kept enriching the uranium, and then eventually they hit 60% and tried to hide it and lie, and they were caught. You know, so their atomic fucking shit was suspended for years. And then it came back online, and then they were caught trying to weaponize it again. So, you know, it's just a matter of time before they actually did get the weapons grade uranium they were looking for to have a bomb. And the second they got that bomb, they were just definitely going to unleash it on Israel and then anybody else that's Western that's close enough for their bombs to be capable to reach them. So, yeah, they absolutely would have attacked somebody given the opportunity. So they had to snuff them out immediately and once and for all.
I don't think they was going to attack us officially like they did the embassy after Trump attacked them. They couldn't do that officially, like, because or else they would be going through what they're going through now. But it's all good.
Exactly. Israel's hand, but Israel was ready, and we were ready, and we've had a very, very powerful impact because virtually everything they have has been knocked out now. Their missile count is going way down. Amazingly, they're hitting countries that were, you know, let's call them neutral, right? They lived together for a long time. I think they were surprised. I was surprised. I think and now those countries are all fighting against them and fighting strongly against them. Someday they'll write a story and they'll say why they did that, but they hit countries that had nothing to do with what's going on. They were sort of leaving everything alone. All of a sudden they had missiles shot in, which shows you the level of evil that we're dealing with. They'll hit people that were actually at least somewhat friendly, and they had no problems with it. Also hitting only civilian places, hotels and apartment buildings, and we're hitting them where it is much more appropriate. We're hitting them very hard. And the big scale hitting goes now. They no longer have air protection. They no longer have any detection facilities at all left. And so they're gonna be in for a lot of hurt. These are bad people. These are people that killed. I guess it's 35,000. It's coming out 35,000 over the last 3 weeks. Protesters, 35,000 violently killed. So these are.
Now that's a travesty. That number, that's disgusting. That's crazy. 35,000 protesters.
Literally bodies piled up in the street because people are protesting against, you know, a government that they don't like murdered in the streets and then piled up, and like their economy is so bad. Their economy is so bad that people can't even afford to then have the bodies picked up and have a funeral and all that. So it's fucking crazy, bro. It's crazy.
Yep, straight genocide.
Yeah.
Bad people. And the leader of the pack is gone. And as you know, 49 people were taken out in the first hit. And I guess there was another hit today on the new leadership. And it looks like that was pretty substantial also. So they're getting hit very hard, and we'll see what happens. A lot of people are coming forward. A lot of the people you would least suspect want to quit. They want to have immunity. They're asking for immunity, and probably at some point they'll be dropping, as you would say, laying down their guns. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, we're just continuing to go forward. Our military is the number one in the world by far, and we are
number one.
Everything's big in my book. Venezuela was big. This is big. The original hit, Midnight Hammer, was big. Everything you view is big, but it's not considered very big by some standards, by some of our standards. We have a military like no other military that's ever been built.
So
Yeah, please.
Mr. President, what's the worst case scenario that you have planned for in Iran?
Well, I don't know if there's a worst case. We have them very much beaten militarily from the military standpoint. They're still lobbing some missiles. At some point, they won't even be able to do that because we're hitting all of their carriers. We're hitting all of their missile stock. You know, they built up all these missiles over the last few years. They had a lot of them. They've shot a lot of them, and we're knocking out a lot. I guess the worst case would be we do this, and then somebody takes over who's as bad as the previous person, right? That could happen. We don't want that to happen. That would probably be the worst. You go through this, and then in 5 years, you realize you put somebody in who was no better. So we'd like to see some.
Or worse. So they don't have to get involved with that. It could be somebody worse going in. Who knows?
Yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying. So, like, that's why Donald Trump is doing as much as he can while he has the time, because who knows who's going to be in there next and who knows what they're going to do. So he's not bringing up charges against people and bullshit like that. He's going in and taking them off the street. And if they want to fight about it, they can be fucking buried afterwards.
He got 2 years left. He's stirring up all this shit and he out of there.
Yes, sir. He's handling business because he cannot
Handling
trust.
business. So we don't know if we're going to be able to maintain that place after this. So who's going to take over and whatever. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be wrong. After crying out there, Americans.
He's also showing China and what's called Russia just how capable America is at doing clandestine shit, like rolling in and taking a narco dictator president out of his home in the middle of the night, 3 minutes, no problem, no Americans killed. You know, like he's showing the world, and specifically China and Russia, just how not to be fucked with America really is, because everybody seems to forget just how badass we are and how capable we are.
Okay, what happened with North Korea then?
What about North Korea?
Huh? Oh, you were asking, what about? Never mind.
Well, they have nuclear weapons, and they really don't do anything that is too concerning to us. You know what I mean? Like they're absolutely a problem, and they're bad neighbors as far as like the countries around them. But China deals with them. But there's no real.
They preach, take us down.
Yeah,
they hate us.
Absolutely hate us. But there's no reason for us to go straight at them, because the only reason that North Korea is even surviving is because of their oil they get from fucking Iran. So now that we're going to knock Iran off the map, they're no longer going to be able to supply all this illegal oil to North Korea or anybody else. So that's going to fucking send weapons production to a grinding halt.
That would be crazy.
Yeah. So that's what it's going to do.
Somebody in there that's going to bring it back for the people. And we'll see what happens with the people. You know, they have their chance. And we've said, don't do it yet. If you're going to go out and protest, don't do it yet. It's very dangerous out there. A lot of bombs are being dropped. But I would say that would be about the worst.
Do you have someone in mind right now? Because you said all the people you did have in mind have been taken out. What do you?
Well, most of the people we had in mind are dead. So, you know, we had some in mind from that group that is dead.
All my friends are
And
dead.
now we have another.
Look how he's dead,
They did it gangster though, fucking. So they killed the Ayatollah like immediately. First thing they did was kill him. But then the next day they had the next 80 guys that were in line, like the next potential 80 people to be the next Ayatollah. They all met up and in a meeting to figure out which one of them was going to be the next leader. So they blew up that building and killed all 80 of them too. So.
They're dead. They're dead.
Another group, they may be dead also, based on reports. So I guess you have a third wave.
Gangster.
Sucks to be an asshole.
Some say Trump was an asshole.
Yeah, but he's got a bigger button and bigger weapons behind him. So
big shit popping, little shit dropping, huh?
yes, sir. Big shit popping and big shit dropping on Ayatollah's foreheads, bro.
Yeah, I guess so.
coming in. Pretty soon we're not going to know anybody.
Warheads on foreheads.
But we have, I mean, Venezuela was so incredible because we did the attack and we kept government totally in.
Yeah, he did. I mean, it seemed like everything is running good. They got some, they structuring it and restructuring it, and it seems as if it's worked so far. So that's a success story, I must admit.
And like I said, they didn't announce it. Obviously, you're not supposed to announce it when you have a secret fucking attack going down, but they didn't announce it, so the Democrats didn't get a chance to bitch and complain about it or have some idiot judge, sign a paper saying they can't do it yet. So they went and did what they had to do and handled business, and now the Democrats can bitch and cry about it all they want, but it was handled and taken care of. So fuck them.
You're proud of your president.
I'm proud of our country.
Salute.
This is not only a huge day for America and the Western world, but this is big in general. This guy, the Ayatollah, has been in business for 47 years over there, fucking killing people and fucking threatening the world and terrorizing the fucking planet and all the neighboring countries and foreign. So this is a really big deal for the world, man, and it's a great thing.
Salute the soldiers, like I said.
Absolutely. They're the ones out there.
And we have Delcy, who's been very good. We have the whole chain of command, and they've been, look, the relationship's been great. We've taken out 100 million barrels of oil already, and a big part of that goes to them, and a big part goes to us. And it's been great. We paid for the war many times over, and we're going to be running the oil. And Venezuela is going to make more money than they ever made, and that's great for the people. The relationship has been great. It's been seamless. Nobody's actually ever seen anything like it. If you look at Iraq, where very stupidly everybody was fired, the generals were fired, the military was fired, the police were fired, the fire departments were fired. And
talking about the downfall of Saddam Hussein or something. What was he talking about with that?
No. They're just saying how Iraq, it's been just kind of in a tailspin, ever since the war ended and shit. They just kind of thing, but now they don't have to worry about it because they're a direct neighbor. But there's a whole bunch of bullshit going on over there, like Pakistan and fucking Afghanistan are in the middle of a war now.
Yeah, but he's saying basically that they fired everybody in the government and stuff, and that's why they're fucked up. He's talking about after the war, right?
Right. Well, yeah, the entire regime got shaken up, but
comparing it to Venezuela, which is doing fine, and he's saying, "Look what happened to Iraq. They fired everybody, this and that." Okay, but I thought okay, yeah. So like I said, it's gonna be occupying going on out there. Motherfuckers gonna be stuck out there for a minute, type shit.
Well, I don't think they are actually. That's the whole thing that they're trying to do with the Iran thing now is they don't really want to put boots on the ground if they don't have to. We have soldiers stationed all around out there. But they're not going to try to do a straight up foot soldier invasion.
No, not to battle, but to occupy after they win or whatever, to keep the control and stuff. I would imagine.
That's what I'm saying. That's the point. I think at this point they're trying to switch it up because that's what we always do. Is we go in, we fight the fight, and then we establish a fucking base there, and then we stay there for 30 or 40 years. But I think they're trying to avoid doing that this time. No boots on the ground. Do it with planes and drones and all that kind of shit and missiles, but never actually commit troops to actually go in and, like I said, have a foot battle because we always do that shit. We go in, we stay there, and then we're stuck there. So I think the whole point is to just handle business and then not have a military presence stuck there. I think that's the attempt. We'll see how it works, but
all right.
All of the government workers were fired. So after, people would call, they had no idea. And by the way, ISIS was formed. That's where ISIS came from. All of the fired people. We don't believe in that. So we'll see what happens, but first we have to finish off the military.
What do you think about Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi? Is he an option at all in your mind?
I guess he is. Some people like him, and we haven't been thinking about too much about that. It would seem to me that somebody from within maybe would be more appropriate. I've said that. He looks like a very nice person, but it would seem to me that somebody that's there, that's currently popular, if there's such a person. But we have people like that. We have people that were more moderate. You know, these were radical lunatics, and you know what they get? They get nothing. All they do is kill people.
Mr. President, what exactly was the imminent?
You've asked, not your turn. Not your turn.
Mr. President, have you been to take?
Not your turn.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're in the White House talking to the President of the United States, and these people forget their manners, and it's fucking ridiculous.
Of the Europeans to present to the help Mark Rutte call on the allies to also help you.
What does that mean?
Well, you have to ask Mark Rutte if he said not as part of NATO, but to be helpful to you in this.
Well, some of the European nations have been helpful and some haven't. And I'm, very surprised. Germany's been great. He's been terrific.
Germany.
Others have been very great, terrific. I think that the head of NATO, Mark, is fantastic. Okay, Mark Rutte. I think he's fantastic. But
Yeah, Trump. You're very happy with him. Some people got different opinions on it. You know, some people, the usual thing. Oh, we need to mind our business. You feel me? That's the main.
We are minding our business. When you have a country where they teach the children to chant "Death to America" every day, that's involving us. So we have to get involved with that. You know, if we allow the Democrats to call all the shots, we wouldn't exist anymore. You know, it's like suicidal empathy. I mean, that's what they have.
I'm talking about people, American people, not just Democrats. When it comes to war, it's not just a Democrat and a Republican thing. So you got people that don't really like that, but I do believe sometimes it's necessary. You know what I mean?
Of course, I personally don't like war. You know, I never want to see our country or any country go to war and people die. It's awful because the first people or the people that get most affected by the war are innocent civilians that have nothing to fucking do with it. You know what I mean? They're the ones that always wind up suffering the worst, you know, but so I don't want to see that happen. But, you know, when you have a war, obviously people get hurt, die. But if you don't have that war, how many people will get hurt and die over time by not doing something, you know? So it's a shit situation. Nobody, especially me, wants to see people go to war and die. But you know, if we don't do something about these people, they can really, really mess the world up and really hurt a lot of innocent people. So sometimes you got to do something that's not so good in order to protect the rest of the people around you. So that's what we got to do. Got to step up and handle business.
Says B-Rad. He had to do it. All right, get into these 19 moments of these. They the craziest couple. Yo, they some wild couple. Remember Hillary Clinton went to Hot 97, pulled the hot sauce out of her bag. Oh, I got my hot sauce. Fucking ridiculous. Disgusting. Bill Clinton. Oh, I play saxophone. Oh, I smoke, but I didn't inhale. Oh, Bill Clinton smoked weed. Cool.
He was also smashing a 22-year-old fucking secretary in the White House with a fucking cigar.
Yeah, he got the same smirk on his face that he had when he was lying to the people, saying, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman."
Yeah, no, but your cigar did.
You foul boy. Let's get into it, though. Shout out to law and crime.
Answers a question, the way they even respond, facial tics, body language. I think it's very, very important.
It would demand testimony from prosecutors from Florida, New York, and the Department of Justice about why they gave Epstein a sweetheart deal and chose not to pursue others who may have been implicated in his crimes. But that's not happening. Instead, you have compelled me to testify fully.
I really don't think Hillary had nothing to do with it, to tell you the truth. I think Bill did. I don't know.
Well, I mean, what the whole point is that she knows about it. The whole point, you know, she was there. She might not have taken part in any of the actions, but she was there. She's very well aware of what goes on there. And her husband was all up in there too many times for her to not know what was going on. So that's what they just wanted the information from her.
She pissed off, fiery ass.
Because
that I have no knowledge that would
her
assist
authority
your
is being questioned, and how dare us peons question her authority? Fucking bitch.
You don't talk to me like that. Sorry, you never made it to the presidents. Nobody likes you. I'm sorry.
That's what happens when you're a piece of shit. People don't like you and they don't vote for you. So no matter how much you swindle and hustle and cheat your way through, eventually you're going to want to lose. You're supposed to.
And twerk with Megan Thee Stallion with some hot sauce. It ain't working though.
God, it's so fucking mortifying. It's so embarrassing. It's like, oh my God, you people, you have no shame whatsoever. Like, how did she think that would appeal to that community, saying some shit like
Just like when Biden said, "Oh, you think if you like Trump, you're not black."
Yeah, exactly. It's like, who the fuck are you? First off, how would you even know, you fucking goofy white motherfucker? Like, and second, it's like I can't believe, like, again, they have no shame. Their ignorance is off the charts. And then they get nasty about it. And like you said, it's like, if you don't vote for the Democrats, you're not black. It's like, yo, you're a fucking moron to even attempt to say something like that. Like, I just wish that the Democrats as a whole would just realize completely and just be like, nope, and then nobody vote for them. You know, they get what they fucking deserve. They've done nothing for the people. They trash America and Americans every fucking chance they get, and then they want people to vote them into office. Why? So you can sit there and tell us we're pieces of shit constantly, and then give our country away and all our services away to people who don't deserve it. It's ridiculous. So people are getting fucking the acknowledgement they don't deserve. Thank God.
She should have wore red like the devil.
Investigation in order to distract from President Trump's actions and to cover them up.
Oh, here we go. Trump. Distract.
Jesus. These people are insufferable.
Handle your business. Don't bring up nobody else. Handle your BI.
Legitimate calls
so good
for
telling
answers.
Trump does or doesn't do, but they don't ever do or anything themselves. You know what I mean? Like, they have no accomplishments. All they do is just bag on Donald Trump and say what he did is wrong. It's ridiculous.
This committee is serious about learning the truth about Epstein's trafficking crimes. It would not rely on press gaggles to get answers from our current president on his involvement. It would ask him directly under oath about the tens of thousands of times he shows up in the Epstein files. If the majority was serious, it would not waste time on fishing expeditions. There is too much to be done. This institutional failure is designed to protect one political party and one public official.
How is she so appalled when her husband was president, when it was all going down, and she was the attorney general or whatever? Like, how is she so appalled? Like, how did you guys let this happen? Like, she have nothing to do with the shit. You feel me? Like, she ain't know nothing.
She's a monster. She's a monster. And now on top of that, like I said, like, the disdain that these people have for the common working class American, like she is fucking angered that she has to even explain herself, and that, you know, like, that she is under question by these peons and fucking, you know what I mean? Like, how dare we question her and her husband's authority? But, you know, it is what it is. Or your husband's a fucking disgusting animal, and you're complaining because you know all about it.
It is, but it ain't. But that's another story.
Rather than to seek truth and justice for the victims and survivors, as well as inform the public who want to get to the bottom of this matter. My heart breaks for the survivors,
I bet
and I
it's-
am furious.
Comes across
I bet
And I
it's-
am furious.
comes across so cold, and
I bet her little fucking stone heart is just so broken up over this situation.
my heart breaks. Yeah.
On their behalf.
Now, I mean, it seems that the argument is she's referring to those in the Trump administration, right? People who appear in the Epstein files that are not being properly investigated in her view, like Howard Lutnick, former neighbor of Jeffrey Epstein, United States Commerce Secretary. And by the way, he's a bit controversial because there were communications that would suggest he really didn't cut off contact when he said he cut off contact with Jeffrey Epstein, but also really focusing on President Donald Trump, right, who appears multiple times in the files, has faced uncorroborated allegations of abuse within the files, which, by the way, we've talked about in prior sidebars. But I gotta call out this moment. Okay, so this is where Hillary Clinton finds out that someone took a photo of her
She's
during
mad.
this deposition. And remember, it was reported that it was Representative
Oh,
Lauren
that made you
Boebert.
so mad, huh? That's what made you so mad that you got to get out of here. You're appalled. Someone took a photo of me. You
Yeah.
fucking.
How dare they?
I'm not answering any more questions about this child fucking pimp predator. I'm not helping you guys no more because she took a picture of me. So you're not answering the questions about this sick shit because somebody took a picture of you.
That's
Wow.
fine. So she can be all irate about it and she can not say shit. But then what the jailers should do is throw her in the fucking box, and then every hour that she doesn't want to give you the information, just haul off and smack this bitch.
That's
Obviously that won't happen, but I'm just saying that would be so justifiable.
Doing backslaps and be rad land. Don't get arrested big.
A Republican who shared a picture of her with a conservative commentator was posted all online. It's a big no-no because the rules require no unauthorized video or photos of a closed-door deposition.
How dare you?
Watch Hillary Clinton erupt.
You're showing me an email from someone who I don't recall knowing about a fundraiser that wasn't for me, but was for Congresswoman Lowy. I have no information. I went to the fundraiser to support my friend Nia Lowy.
All right.
Excuse me, can I interrupt?
I have
There are
another.
photos that are being released of the secretary as she is testifying from inside this room. Can you please advise me as to whether or not that's permissible and consistent with the rules, particularly given that we have asked for a public hearing? If there are photos that are being released of the secretary as she is testifying, can you please explain how that
I'm
can
done
occur?
with this. If you guys are doing that,
Oh my God.
Yeah, her any way possible to fucking cancel or get out of there, and of course she's gonna go for it. Of course.
There shouldn't be an option for her to be able to just say, I'm done with this.
Yeah, no, she should be handcuffed to the fucking chair, and then she'll be dismissed when we're done with you. Like, what the fuck?
I'm done with this. If you guys, I'm done. All right? I'm done.
Fine. Can you please explain how that
I'm
can
done
occur?
with this. If you guys are doing that, I am done. You can hold me in contempt from now until the cows come home.
Right there
This is
is where
just typical behavior.
You will go off
that's you just playing a
Oh,
big
Why is it? Huh?
I said that's the situation right there. That's the time frame where you put a nice big fat slap in there.
Wow. With the backhand.
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
is she so mad about a picture? She
yeah,
looks
and-
like she got some expensive shit on. She don't look busted.
Yeah, yeah. But see how angry she gets? Like, how
Angry.
dare we question her? How dare we? Like, who the fuck?
She needed to put a bra on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she needs to put a gun in her mouth is what she needs to do.
Hey,
Say
yo, damn.
Yeah,
Let's be
personally,
rad.
it's my opinion. It is what it is.
I'd like to understand how that's permissible.
Before the hearing was.
It doesn't
Excuse
matter.
me.
We all are abiding by the same rules.
Oh yeah, this
Yeah,
bitch.
well,
I would like to take a break at this
Yeah,
moment.
Oh, we all abiding by the same rules, and you get to yell and
Yeah,
get crazy.
These are the same rules she's talking about when she deleted something like 3,000 emails illegally and got in trouble for it.
Same rules, huh?
Yeah.
I'm done for now.
I'm done.
Go off the record. Go off the record.
Filthy fucking
Eventually,
animal.
the testimony resumed. But now I want to move on to something else, okay? I think we all knew this was probably going to come up. Monica Lewinsky, the president's former affair, right?
Good.
I mean, there's a lot that came up over this when
I used to hate when my people were Clinton Black, man. Clinton Black. Yeah, be black folks. Yeah. I used to hate that. Just because he fucking said he smoked weed and played a saxophone. And then Hillary out the bottle of hot sauce. That tell you about how they both are.
Yep. I hate her so much that it actually brings me joy to listen to him talk about the situation with Monica Lewinsky in front of her. It's awesome.
Damn, he really hate her.
Yeah.
I think your hate started after she went against Trump.
No. I've hated her for a long time. I remember actually when they made the announcement that the presidential candidates were going to be Donald Trump, and Hillary Clinton. I remember being so mad, just saying like, how the fuck are these the two best people we have in America to put up for the presidency? Hillary, the fucking asshole fucking Clinton, or Donald, the fucking retard Trump. You know what I mean? Like, I was not happy about either one of them at all.
you knew the Clintons were going to testify. And after they testified, the argument came up that people say, this is another example of Hillary Clinton addressing her husband's actions, this time with respect to Epstein. But there is an apparent connection that Republican Representative Nancy Mace is trying to make here between the two. And by the way, Nancy Mace has been quite vocal about the handling of the Epstein files and the need for further action. But take a look at this.
On December 19th, 1998, President Clinton was impeached on charges of perjury and obstruction of justice, which directly related to his extramarital affair with Monica Lewinsky. Is that correct?
Yes.
And your husband was impeached for perjury related to sexual behavior, correct?
Man, but she don't care about that dude no more, please.
No, she never cared about him in the first place. Their marriage was simply a business fucking transaction.
She got some young Mexican playboy hitting her off. You feel me?
Yeah. Some illegal pool boy.
Definitely.
I didn't understand what you said.
Your husband was impeached for perjury related to sexual behavior, his sexual behavior.
He was impeached for several reasons.
Yes.
She don't respect his ass. She can't even look his way.
No, definitely not. But she's all mad because your husband obviously has no interest in you. So he was in the old for the 22-year-old.
Yeah, Monica Lewinsky, a brunette who looks totally different from you. Taller. Yeah.
And she was like 22, 23 years old. Like, much better than fucking Hillary and that horrible fucking face and her cackling, awful voice. Oh, God, I'd kill myself.
Acquitted in the Senate.
And your husband flew on Jeffrey Epstein's plane 17 to 26 times, correct?
God
he made
damn.
several trips with different legs.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
That's a lot. Most people, most Americans haven't even been on a plane that many times.
That's a fact.
He flew on Jeffrey Epstein's plane 17 to 26 times. Were you aware that Secret Service was dropped on some of those flights?
That is not my understanding.
Where they were not on some of those flights?
Yeah, we're going to leave you guys over here. You guys go ahead and meet me. But, sir, that's not... Hey, hold on now, young man. You heard what I said now. Get out of here.
That's crazy, though. Think about that. So that's the president of the United States at the time told his security to fucking back the fuck up and, like, leave him alone while he went and smashed these chicks up. But, like, that's so crazy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That is not my understanding.
So your understanding is that Secret Service was on all of the flights that President Clinton was on?
That is my understanding.
By this standard of behavior, multiple credible accusers, including Juanita Broderick, who alleged rape against your husband was disbarred in Arkansas, lost his law license before the Supreme Court, flew on Epstein's plane dozens of times, visited Epstein's island.
That is not true. That is absolutely untrue.
Well, there's documentation in the DOJ files. I'm not.
You're the one that said, "Oh, he didn't touch Monica Lewinsky." That is not true.
Yeah.
So either you're naive or you playing with it. Stop it. Look at your face. You don't even believe what you're saying right now.
She's surely not naive. She knows damn well.
She's sharp as a damn tack.
I'm not sure you're aware your attorneys have told you, but Jeffrey Epstein told one of the victims to lie to investigators, to lie that Bill Clinton was ever on Epstein Island. I can provide that document to you.
We would like that document, please.
Okay,
Yeah, counsel,
I can do
because
that.
actually the files say just the opposite. Epstein himself denied he was.
These are FBI notes from an interview with a victim, and I can get you the victim number and the case number and the files. These are notes from a 302
If
interview.
you'd like those, are you going to provide those now?
I don't, that's not my line of questioning. She brought it up, but I have a
I'm
document. I
sorry,
can get to
you're
you.
making a representation as to the facts.
I didn't enter anything as an exhibit.
It's but it's factually inaccurate.
No, I can give it to you later. I can go find the document, make copies of it and give it to you this afternoon.
Thank you so much.
Okay. By your standard of pattern of behavior, according to documents released by the Department of Justice, your husband appears in photos in swimming pools, hot tubs, aboard Jeffrey Epstein's private plane.
Yo, the amount of embarrassment that her husband put her through, though, I can't lie. She a trooper. This dude Clinton is a foul. Put her through it. Put her through it. But is it because she sold her soul and she wanted to be that, all that, and she thought that was the way to get there, and now she suffered the consequences by thinking you could get with this dude and he gonna take you to the top. You feel me? Nah. I don't know, just talking.
No, yeah, I totally agree with you, and it's awesome to watch that implode on someone after, you know, we've been dealing with her snide and snarky fucking comments and all that for like 30 years or more, and it's nice to see that there's going to be some justice here, or at the very least that they're being publicly embarrassed for the dirty, grimy shit that they've been doing. So at least they're being called out at the very least.
Yeah, but what's fucked up is there should be a whole lot of other motherfuckers up here. Whole lot.
Hopefully that's what this is leading to. Hopefully, you know, more names and then fucking more testimonies, and hopefully it starts to snowball. But like I've said from the get-go, if they really went all the way in on this, it would just never work. The whole Western world would collapse because so many politicians and powerful people from the West are involved in all this crazy pedophilia shit. So it would really just destroy like the Western world. So they're not going to get everybody, but they're going to go for a select few and make examples of them.
Sometimes you got to burn the house down to get to the, not America, but I'm just saying the scumbags that know about this shit. I mean, they got to.
Totally right. It just
I know it's deep and it ain't that easy because it's been going on for probably, you know, forever. So
yeah, but these are the kind of people, like, if you fucking just tomorrow released all the names on that list are that of people that are just, they're the movers and shakers. They're the people that are responsible for keeping the world spinning. You know what I mean? Like, and if you were to fucking drop their names, that would just, it could really fuck up our world in a bad way. You know, like, these are the people with the big money that really make the fucking world turn every day. And if you take these people out and put them in jail, it could just really fuck up the world in a bad way. It should absolutely be done for justice, but I'm saying that's the reason why it's never going to go as far as it should.
Sounds like you're a redactor. No, let me stop.
No, it's not me. It's just a situation, man. Like, I personally would love to watch all these people fry for it, but I just feel like they just would never allow it to go all the way. But you know, there's going to be a bunch of people that obviously go down over this, or at least get publicly embarrassed and humiliated over it at the very least.
With unidentified young women, we came here today and told this committee that a pattern of behavior demands accountability, correct?
I said that.
What? Why can't, yeah, a pattern of behavior does deserve whatever. Why are you explaining that? That's how slick she is. Simple question. No. All right. Even if she didn't say it, it's like, do you believe it? You feel me? Like, hold on, man. Because
with unidentified young women, we came here today and told this committee that a pattern of behavior demands accountability, correct?
I said that I believe the committee should call anyone who had a substantial pattern and practice of contact with Jeffrey Epstein and his crimes before they came to light.
Does that include your husband?
And after they came to light. You're going to have a chance to question him tomorrow.
So I'll ask you again, by the standard you just set in your own words just now, does this standard apply equally to your husband or only President Trump?
I have said that my husband has been subpoenaed. He will appear. He will answer your questions to the best of his ability, but there is no evidence whatsoever of any connection with Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. And I think
He's slick. She couldn't say it. No, that doesn't. Yeah, that applies to my husband too. If he fucking get caught, he deserves some accountability. Yeah, she couldn't just say that.
No, it's because she doesn't believe that. She doesn't believe that there should be any accountability or justice brought upon them.
Mm-mm.
I think that will be obviously apparent in the questioning.
What makes you so sure of that then? I mean, he's photographed with.
Objection.
Smart, sharp ass fucking lawyer mind. She's just man, something else. Boy.
No,
To speculate on something that's not.
Yeah, it is so speculative. I mean, swimming in a pool, sitting in a hot tub, there are millions of people who do that.
Oh wow! See, she's a lawyer, but she know the truth. Please, cut it out.
Without any improper behavior or certainly committing any crimes. So I
Do you think most of
the
the men are like your husband that did anything wrong? Why were they being surrounded by young women, giving them massages on Jeffrey's private estate or private plane? Are they all innocent then?
You know,
Just
you
because-
are making assumptions in your questions that have not been proven and I don't believe are provable.
Damn!
Okay. Why did you?
I don't believe they're provable. Why? Witnesses still alive. There's people still. I don't believe they're provable. Whoa.
Yeah,
Not.
I would love to see all the video that this guy had. You know, the security cameras, all the hidden security cameras he had. I would love to just see those videos, or just clips of it, and then be like, well, here's the reason why people are questioning you, you dumb bitch.
She studied everything. She know everything about the shit, and she just said, "I don't believe they're provable."
Yeah,
that's just not the thing to say. That's some foul shit. To me,
that's some lawyer ass
shit.
Yep, exactly. Because these people they're not human, bro. They're just scum. They're just rich scum, and they think they're better than everybody.
I gotta roll up to that. She said that she don't believe it's provable. Ruthless.
To wait 6 months to have this hearing today or have this testimony?
I've answered that. I thought that given the way that other witnesses who were subpoenaed at the same time were being treated, that there was an unfair treatment of both my husband and myself.
Whoa.
And
she's still right for him. Is she like one of those ones that he's slapping up and degrading, and that's what she get off to probably?
But you do have to give her credit because she has stuck by her husband. You know what I mean? Regardless of how, why she has done it, you got to give her credit.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's one thing you got to give her credit for. I ain't gonna lie, for real.
100%.
I thought that, especially from my perspective, I had very little, if any, information to provide you, and that I could have done it in a sworn statement and you could have moved on to depose somebody else who might have more information that would be beneficial to your
I have two more questions.
We'll get back to the hot tub a little bit later, but now I want to talk about Howard Lutnick once again. Again, the current United States.
That's her legacy. She ride for her man. Basically, that's all she ever. Feel me?
Secretary of Commerce.
But that's you gotta, like I said, you gotta give her credit. That's not an easy thing to do to back somebody up in this politics game for shit like that and to stay with them. Gotta give her credit.
You see the stress in her eyes, and and she lost. And one of the reasons why people don't trust her because of Bill Clinton. You feel me? This motherfucker was banging up everything, and you ain't know nothing in your own house. So how you gonna control the? You feel me?
Oh, she fucking for sure knew. She's a gangster, but she definitely knew.
She know. I believe she know.
Who appears numerous times in the Epstein files. Again, was neighbors with Epstein, communicated with Epstein through emails. There is even a photo that may appear to be him with Epstein. Now, Hillary Clinton is asked about him, and watch what happens.
Did it concern you at
for the
all that Ghislaine
testimony.
Maxwell was heavily involved with people you knew and were close to?
I knew people that I knew her. Yes, that's true.
And you just shrugged, you didn't want to look into it or
Yeah,
have any
nobody,
question
you know,
about it?
until her crimes were revealed and she was indicted and tried and convicted, I don't think people knew very much about at all.
And
what
then
she
how do
was
you know
doing.
Howard Lutnick?
I know Howard Lutnick because when I was senator on 9/11, the firm he headed, Cantor Fitzgerald, suffered the greatest loss of life. As I recall, something like 650 of his employees were murdered by terrorists that day. Howard Lutnick missed being a victim because he was delayed dropping
know
his
that. I
child
asked
off
him,
to
you know.
kindergarten. You asked the question. I'm going to answer your question.
Are you gonna yell
This
Oh. Hey, yo, what did she say, Hillary, that got you that mad? What did she say to the other man?
It's not even what the person said. It's just that they had the audacity to
The
question.
audacity, the nerve of her, this regular fucking bitch, the nerve of her to talk to me like that. Did you see that?
This is right where you insert the physical override. This is where you just slap the fuck out of her.
I want her dead. You find out where exactly she is and get her fired. I hate that bitch.
Yeah, she should
on
have to be
9/11, the firm he
she should have to be the one that pulls the lever on the trap door when they hang her husband.
Man, I promise you, she pulling that thing.
he headed, Cantor Fitzgerald, suffered the greatest loss of life. As I recall, something like 650 of his employees were murdered by terrorists that day. Howard Lutnick missed being a victim because he was delayed dropping
know
his
that. I
child
asked
off
him,
to
you know.
kindergarten. You asked the question. I'm going to answer your question.
Now you asked
This was what
I'm
I
next.
spent my time doing.
I'm a
I
survivor
spent
trying to look.
Now we're gonna have a yelling match.
Yeah, this is the woman. This is the woman who's like wanted to be our president and shit. You know what I mean? Like, and all the bullshit that surrounds her and her husband. And this bitch wants to be or believes that she should be the leader of the free world. Give me a fucking break. You can't even control your husband.
Insult a lot of reporters and get crazy, but I've never seen them get loud and like, visibly upset, like out of it. So
He'll embarrass one of them and like basically call for order. He'll be like, get your shit together and be an adult. But with her, it's like an angry fucking woman who's just so irate that you would dare question her authority in any way, shape, or form. It's insane. You can literally see how she believes that she and the people that are with her are of a higher status and that it's below her to be questioned by people like us.
Look out for other survivors trying
and
to.
I was taking care of the people who lost.
She's supposed to be the leader of our people. She's the representative, and she's the one who's supposed to be out there for us. It doesn't seem the way she's speaking to this woman that she's for the people. It seems like she's for herself. And they have disdain. They have literal disdain for the American people.
That's another part I despise about politics and stuff like that. People just do your job, and all this personal shit is just not cool. I hate it. You know what I mean? But it's a joke. They say, what's the main thing they say why a woman can't be president?
Because she's too emotional.
Yep. Say we'll be going to war with everybody. That's what they say. That's what everybody says.
3,000 lives.
Disappears.
And now you're being
At World
defiant
Trade
and
Center.
indignant today.
You asked me
I have
about
met
Howard
with
Lutnick.
Epstein survivors. I'm a survivor myself. You have emails. You've denied that Jeffrey Epstein, that you tried to get Jeffrey Epstein to give money to you.
I did not.
Howard Lutnick was
If you
used
have
to
an
get
email
money.
with me asking Jeffrey
I
Epstein
have
for
an
money,
email from Howard Lutnick sending it to Jeffrey Epstein and his people to raise money
I
for
don't
you
know
for
about
an event, an intimate event for you at his offices at Cantor Fitzgerald. You're going to sit here today.
This girl is ruthless. Shout out to that reporter. She like, fuck it. I'ma speak. I ain't scared.
That's
you would let me finish.
Right? She going hard.
Yeah, it's how she has to be in order to question this person and to get her questions through. So good for her. She's tough, man.
This
What a
committee,
shame.
you didn't try to get money from Jeffrey Epstein when there was an intimate event in an email that Howard Lutnick emailed to Epstein's people and Epstein to get him to come to your intimate event at Cantor Fitzgerald, a very small event. And so I'm not going to put it. You want to yell at me? That's fine, but I'll yell right back.
Well,
okay? I am looking out for the
very-
survivors. I'm doing the job that you would not do and refuse to do as Secretary of State.
The gangster.
Yeah, she's holding her feet to the flames, bro, which is good. That's like, we need reporters to be like this, to make these people answer for what they've done. They don't just get to do whatever they want. And then when it comes out that they fucked up or that they did some horrible illegal shit or some deplorable shit, and then they get questioned about it, and then they want to act like how dare we question them? And then we need tough women like this girl who's really fucking holding it to her and sticking it to her and asking the tough questions that we never see the left liberal media ever ask these people, ever.
Thank you, and I yield back to
No,
Congresswoman.
I'm going to finish answering the question, which I have a right to do.
Oh,
I
now
am
she's
very
right.
sympathetic to your personal situation. I have read about it. I have seen you testify or speak on the floor about it. And I very much sympathize with not only what you went through, but appreciate your effort to stand up for survivors. I was a senator representing the people who were murdered on 9/11. Nobody lost more people than Howard Lutnick. You can say whatever you want. You can call him and have him appear before the committee. But I knew him as the man who lost the employees that he knew intimately, including his brother.
Sure. Just terrible.
So I worked.
Let her finish her answer, please. Let her finish her answer.
You know what? If you don't want to hear what emotionally affected me, that's fine.
You don't give a fuck.
But that's
about
why
you.
I know Howard Lutnick. I went to the memorial service every 9/11 after the formal.
For some reason, Hillary, everybody think your veins is full of ice water, and nobody believe this sympathetic stuff that she's saying.
Yeah,
You really.
she's not trustworthy. Like again, like I was saying the other day, she can tell us all day long who and what she is, but you can just sit back and look at what she's done and the things that she's done that make her who she is. And then you can see it's a very different picture than what she paints herself to be.
Service was
I
held
see what you're
with
doing here,
all,
and you're
with
obfuscating
all
from
of
the
his
questions. He was
people, the
go-between between
family.
you and Jeffrey Epstein raising money for your
Well,
campaign.
you know, Howard Lutnick and I did work
Thank you. I will
together
now yield
because
to
we had a
Congresswoman
lot of
Leno.
victims
Thank you.
to take care of, and we worked together to rebuild.
Lutnick was a lobbyist, I'm understanding, and he requested money from Jeffrey Epstein on her behalf or something like that, and they got the email, and she's avoiding the question, saying Howard Lutnick was facing this and that, he needed money, he lost a lot of people and employees, and this and that. But the emails has her name involved, like the money was for her campaign, basically, type shit.
Like, just watch what these people do and you'll see just how scummy they are. It's crazy. Like, if you or I or any normal person were to do the types of things that these people do, we would get in so much trouble, bro. So much trouble. But they don't even wind up going to court over this shit, let alone get in any real trouble. Like, it's insane, bro. It's insane.
Crazy.
Downtown Manhattan. That is how I know Howard Lutnick.
Why don't you want to get over here?
Fine, I'll do the heavy lifting. Yeah, I got it.
Okay, now I want to go back to Lauren Boebert, who had this very interesting
love
back
her.
and forth.
Love Lauren
on
Boebert.
this.
She's awesome.
Now, remember the 2016 conspiracy theory about Pizzagate? Mentioned this in a prior sidebar about references to pizza in the Epstein files, people making connections between the two. Pizzagate was the unfounded theory that you had this sex trafficking pedophile ring featuring prominent Democratic figures was being run out of a DC pizza shop. Boebert asks Hillary Clinton about this.
In past public statements, as in 2017 speeches and interviews, you described Pizzagate as a baseless conspiracy theory, alleging you and others ran a child sex trafficking ring from a Washington pizzeria basement. Have you reviewed any 2025-2026 Epstein files that were released that you believe reference or relate to those specific 2016 claims regarding the Podesta emails, Comet Ping Pong Pizza used as code possibly?
I'm sorry, does
You're
this
asking
relate?
her about whether
Excuse me.
she's reviewed.
Her world is falling down. You see, that shit, no over, no type of political aspirations or nothing. You better just go somewhere and sit down. It's over. Right.
Yeah, she's having a tough
You
time.
described pizza
Well,
gate as a baseless conspiracy theory,
look at her
alleging
face.
you and others ran a child sex trafficking ring from a Washington pizzeria basement. Have you reviewed any 2025, 2026 Epstein files that were released that you believe reference or relate to those specific 2016 claims regarding the Podesta emails, Comet Ping Pong Pizza used as code possibly?
I'm sorry, does
You're
this
asking
relate?
her about whether
Excuse me.
she's reviewed emails
In the Epstein files.
which relate to the wacky Pizzagate
You
scandal.
could characterize it however you want. I just would like to know if she's familiar with any of them.
So
Please
excuse me,
comment to-
your question is about whether or not.
See how the lawyers attacked. They know, and then act like, you gotta shut the fuck up on that question. That question with the lawyers got to take over on that one. Whoa.
Yeah, the question's too good, so now all of a sudden they have to attack the question.
Yeah. They skilled, trained, highly paid. But it's funny, you feel me? It's real funny. The Pizzagate, and I forgot my point. Damn it, it was good too. But yeah, goofy ass shit. I'll get it back though. The lawyers on it. She ain't answering that.
She has reviewed any emails in the Epstein release files about Pizzagate.
Correct.
Pizzagate was totally made up. It was an outrageous allegation that ended up hurting a number of people, that caused a deranged young man to show up with his assault rifle and shoot up a local pizzeria. I can't believe you're even referencing it. You should be.
There are connections to the language.
Well,
I'm
the
not talking
QAnon
about-
people believe there are. So
I don't know what QAnon
have at
people
it.
believe.
Have at it.
Yeah, because like I was saying, when her lawyer, the gentleman said, this is wacky Pizzagate, he threw that wacky in there, you feel me? To try to belittle the whole idea. That's something that they do. That's a little slick trick. Oh, okay, this is wacky. And then she mentioned QAnon. And oh, yeah, so everybody's crazy that believes when this freak is using his code words, talking to rich people, and he said pizza a million times. He said grape juice, soda, grape soda. Come on now. Cut it out. That's cold, obviously. The fuck ain't nobody that stupid.
Nah, it's true, bro. Like, it's crazy. And yeah, like, it doesn't make any sense when these people are constantly texting each other about pizza and hot dogs and just talking about pizza and hot dogs in weird, strange ways. Where if you were to put, boy or girl in, it would make a lot more sense. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that's guaranteed what they were doing, but where there's smoke, there's fire. We know that.
Whole fact. And he tried to say this wacky Pizzagate. Oh, QAnon. Okay, let's see it.
They got to try to downplay it, preface it like it's a joke or like it's like so outrageous. But it's like, no, man, these people do that kind of shit. And also, like, you're a reporter, bro. Tell us the news. Stop putting your personal touch onto it.
Well, that's a lawyer. That wasn't a reporter. That was a lawyer.
Oh, my bad. I thought that was someone reporting.
That twist on there.
No. Then that's exactly what he's supposed to do. That's his job. So
yeah, but in the last 4 years, I believe
anyway, though.
In the last 4 years, I believe a lot of these conspiracies now more and more because a lot of them coming true, and a lot of shit is happening, shit going upside down. Would have never thought Diddy would be in prison.
More, they're called facts now. It's crazy.
But you've accused certain parties, and I think even right now today, of promoting slow walking or information in ways that fuels conspiracies. In your view, Did any Epstein-Maxwell related investigations or file handling pre or post 2019 contribute to or intersect with the spread of Pizzagate style theories about Democrat figures?
Objection.
I have no way of answering. That is the most
speculation.
ridiculously.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Have you or your representatives identified any Epstein file content that has been misinterpreted online to revive those claims?
Thank you.
And what steps, if any,
That's not-
have you taken to clarify?
Again, object on the ground of.
I think that this is all very
speculation.
reasonable.
Well, first of all, I don't follow the crazy conspiracy stories that are online.
See,
I regret that
there's the word-
anybody does. I find it quite sad, but also
There's the word crazy and conspiracies. Yeah,
It's like, yeah, I don't follow conspiracy theories. I get it. You're a Secretary of State. Like, you don't have time to be tracking down these stupid internet stories. But you know what? When it's about you, maybe you should pay attention to it, you dumb bitch. Don't be so dismissive when people are fucking literally claiming that you're part of this insane shit that, let's say, it's not even true. But of all the crazy shit, I bet someone, like, let's say it wasn't true and she was just a normal person and she wasn't doing any of this shit. But out of all crazy claims, I guarantee the lower level stuff was true, where she's cheating on this or being a part of, like, negative shit. But she just is so dismissive of all of it. Like, she's so above and so elite. How dare we question her?
Above the law.
I am the law.
disturbing that people would believe some of what is put forth, like Pizzagate. So I have taken no steps to review anything that might have any connection to something which I think is totally bogus.
Next question. Want to provide a little context here. So remember Anthony Weiner served in the U.S. House of Representatives, had to resign over claims he sent women sexually suggestive photos. Then there was the whole scandal of him texting a teenager. He was convicted of having sent obscene material to a child. He was released after 18 months in prison. Now, he was connected to Hillary Clinton because his then wife, Uma Abedin, had been an aide to Clinton. And during the investigation into Weiner, the FBI found emails belonging to Abedin on Weiner's laptop. And then that led FBI Director James Comey to announce that the FBI was reopening its investigation, its probe into Clinton's handling of official emails. And this was before the 2016 election. Guess what? She was asked about this in the deposition. Not happy.
Are you aware of any files that were on Anthony Weiner's laptop in a folder that was titled insurance, life insurance, with a zip file titled Frazzle?
This is way outside the chairman's ruling.
This is way
within the
outside
scope?
the
Is this within the scope, Mr. Chairman?
If the chairman rules that it's not within the scope, I
Mr.
have
Chairman,
other
based on
questions.
what you said in the public hearing, is this within the scope?
You can go off the record for a moment.
Mr. Chairman, is this within the scope?
We'll go off the record.
One more part I want to address real quickly regarding Hillary Clinton. Things got tense when she brought up Republican lawmakers.
I also find it very interesting because I went back and looked at the transcripts of all of your other depositions, and none of the Republicans asked a single question to any witness about Jeffrey Epstein or any question that would help provide answers for his victims to any of the people you deposed. In fact, the only questions that were asked.
I'm sorry, you're being questioned, and we want to know what's going on with you. We don't want you to teaching and preaching to us about how what went down. No, you need to answer your questions. Stick to your own stuff. Now you want to switch it and divert. Not one question was asked. Like what?
And as a whole, when you in modern times, like these days right now, when Democrats, people from the left, are questioned, they do not answer the question. They bring up other shit that's not relevant, or they just go straight to why Donald Trump's a bad guy every time, no matter what they've been asked. They never answer a direct question.
It's amazing.
But yet, when you watch Republicans, for the most part, when they're asked a question, they are coming in direct with an answer. They have an answer.
Yeah, sure. That's a lot.
I'm not saying every one of them, but majority of the time, when you get a Republican these days who gets a question, they fucking answer the question. You know what I mean? They don't do this word salad and dance. But then when you watch someone like Kamala Harris or Tisha James or any of these Democrats, when you ask them a question, especially one that's like a provocative question, you watch them start to tap dance and tiptoe and fucking pull all this bullshit, and they never even say anything, but they just talk for 5 minutes about nothing. They refuse to answer any questions ever.
By the chairman to Attorney General Barr. And what were they about? They weren't about Jeffrey Epstein. They weren't about Ghislaine Maxwell. They weren't about victims and survivors.
You.
So
They see where you at. You got emotional, you angry, and now you want to judge the code committee.
Being a woman.
Especially presidents. And that we should all live by the same set of rules shaped by the Constitution.
Cool ass white boy, though. I'm sorry to say it, but he's a freak.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. Like when I started hearing all this shit about him, it sucked.
He's a piece of shit. But that's just the black in me. I'm still watching him, and I'm still saying, "See, that's just psychological."
I feel like everybody else. You know, he's a charismatic guy. He seemed pretty cool. He fucking, he seemed like a normal kind of cool guy. He seemed like a kind of guy you'd like have a drink with and have a good time with. But then it comes out he's on some extra shit. He's not a guy you want to hang out with.
No.
Democracy requires every person to play their part, and I hope that by being here today, we can bring ourselves a little further away from the brink and back to being a country where we can disagree civilly and search for the truth and justice, and that outweighs the partisan urge for spectacle and point scoring.
I can't even read so fucking be white man just because I agree and say that's my thing too. We need to be able to discuss this, like
you could see how he was struggling to read the fucking letters. I mean, to read what he wrote down. I mean, he didn't write it, obviously.
You laugh at the black man when I say, "Yep, that's me too." I heard you, white man. See what's going on. Nah.
And I hope you'll do yours. The second reason I'm here is that the girls and women whose lives Jeffrey Epstein destroyed,
we love him,
deserve not just justice but healing.
I can't believe he'll say
They've been
this.
waiting too long for.
I can't believe I can't believe that he would even come out and say anything about Jeffrey Epstein at all, other than admitting that he was involved with him. But like to
they
come
got
out
pictures and him all in the things and everything. You can't lie.
I know. I'm saying other than for him to answer a direct question about his involvement with Jeffrey Epstein, for him to come out and right now make this statement about how you have to kind of have a heart and feel bad. I'm just for Bill Clinton to say anything other than directly answering an Epstein question, for him to bring up Epstein and talk about him, to me is just fucking wild. Like
it was designed for the minuscule minds of the left side, and it was all designed and put out in all types of machines, and the way he dressed and the way his hair is, every word he said,
every word.
So
yeah, every word crafted.
You already know that. But you right about that. He can't be trying to. That's some bullshit. Answer the fucking question. Nobody want to hear your bullshit lies and bullshit because we know you're a damn stone cold liar. We watched it, like all politicians, but you got caught up badly.
Yeah, no, and like you said, like we watched it. We watched it.
We watched it.
We grew up watching him fuck himself over.
America left and right. And, you know, a recession and this and that. Like, what the fuck? Oh, no, that was before, whatever.
No, when he was in office, he actually goes down on paper as one of our best presidents, because like he was in office during the whole .com era, that whole .com.
Like money was coming in.
Our country was making a lot of money. We were very prosperous. Things were
He
good.
he looked like it was him, but it wasn't him though.
Well, no, I mean, 100% like the .com era wasn't him specifically. However, he did do a bunch of good shit because that was available. He did make a lot of money for the country because of the option for that, and he was actually a good president. Like, he didn't just get a lucky time to be in the office, although he did hit a lucky time to be in office, but he actually did do a lot of good things too. He was a very good president. He was.
Mandatory minimums and locking everybody up.
Yeah, no, that shit was wild. That shit was wild, but like his foreign policy was really good. Like, he didn't have any major problems. He was pretty good. Like, he got along with a lot of different leaders. I'm just saying, in general, like, everybody has faults and problems.
And you got black people that love the mandatory minimums, good, decent black folk that go to church and do their job and believe in something. And they're like, yeah, lock them dudes up.
Yeah, look, I mean, mandatory minimum drug sentencing only affects you if you're dealing drugs. But you know what I mean? Like, but on the other hand, though, look, I totally get it. I'm sympathetic for it. Like, I'm not down with those mandatory minimum drug sentencing.
No, you know, it ain't fair. Like, I understand the gangsters that got locked up or whatever, that's one thing. But, you know, when you make the coke less than the crack, then that's the bullshit. That's all. Put it, send everybody to jail. Make mandatory minimum for the coke, too. That's all. And everything else.
You're totally targeting, because you'll get a black man back then gets caught with like a half a gram of crack, and he's going to get 15 or 20 years. Meanwhile, you got a white boy who gets caught with a half ounce of coke.
Yeah,
and get like a year probation. And
that was a travesty. That was a tragedy. That's
that was totally weaponization and targeting of the law.
I'm sorry. The gang violence and stuff, you know, that's involved in the streets.
Sure.
So that's
I kind of do get it. Like, I kind of do get it. Things where people were wilding out, things were way out of control. It was crazy, and nobody really knew what to do to stop it. So I understand them coming in with a super heavy-handed, over-the-top, like, sentencing program for that specific drug, like, to deter people from it. But like, that's something, if you're going to do that, that's something you put into effect for like a year or two to get it popping and to get people scared and like set the tone that this won't be tolerated. But you don't leave shit in effect for 20 years and essentially throw away like, you know, like a 16 population gets thrown away from like, I don't agree with that. But I do agree that it was a crazy situation, the crack epidemic, and you know, they did need to do something like very rash and something over the top. But again, only for a small period of time, like when New York had stop and frisk in full effect for like a year or so, a year and a half. You know, New York City streets were wilding, so I get it. I didn't like it. I wasn't down with it. I certainly was happy when it ended, but I did get it because a lot of people run around New York City and every borough with handguns on them. You know, and that shit was getting out of control. So they popped that shit off for like a year and a half, or however long it was. And that stopped people from carrying shit liberally. I remember it kept me from carrying shit, or like, you know, train rides were kind of sketchy when I was down there. I had to do whatever I had to do and then hop on a train, get the fuck up out where I had to go. But like, knowing at any second that this cop could come up and just run my shit, it was kind of sketchy, you know. I wasn't really down with it either. So
yeah.
For Jeffrey Epstein, though it ended years before his crimes came to light, and though I never witnessed during our limited interactions.
Fuck out of here, Billy. Yeah, we're not watching that because this motherfucker. You see what's going on here.
Propagate lies. We don't push lies. Although, oh man, today is kind of like a holiday. Actually, I didn't even tell you I'm celebrating. Today is a fucking big time holiday for me. Jasmine Crockett was completely annihilated, and is not like there's no way for her to get in the Senate seat that she's running for in Texas. This is the former Congresswoman from Texas. Fucking
and got caught in all that shit.
Yeah, I can't stand it. She just hates America. Says everybody's racist and everybody in America sucks, and she just sucks.
Well, she need to go somewhere else then. Sound like it.
But the thing is she's not an immigrant. She's just from America. She just is a horrible liberal who just blames everything. Everything is race. Blames everything on race. Brings everything up in race. Everything's race to her. And it got super old super quick, but then whatever. So anyway, she was in Congress, but she fucking lost her election in Congress, so she's not getting her seat back, thank God. But
people get real mad when when the black people talk about race, though. Y'all get real mad and offended about that type of stuff.
No. I look, it's a crazy subject, and obviously it needs to be addressed, and it does get addressed, but it needs to be addressed properly. This woman was not doing it properly. She was doing detriment to black community and black culture by the way she was just so fucking stupid about it. Look, if you're out there, if you're a social justice warrior and you're going about it the right way and your message is fucking right, doesn't need to be positive. It could be a little fucking, I wouldn't say negative, but it could be a little, not hostile either, but you know what I'm saying? It could be strongly worded, your message, when it comes to equality and getting your shit working and making things right in your opinion. But that's not the way she was. She was over the top ignorant and just perpetrating, bro. Just not cool, anti-American. Everything was Donald Trump and just over the top, but super ghetto about it and super ignorant about it. Just not someone who should be representing either America in general as a fucking congresswoman, but also not someone who should be representing the black community, in my opinion, because she was detrimental. She was a fucking asshole, and she was also not a nice person. She's a nasty bitch.
Clip that.
Yeah, but that's my opinion. That's my opinion. A hot take. Maybe you don't like it. It's fine. It's not for everyone. But anyway, so when she found out that she lost her Congress job, she decided that she was going to run for Senate in Texas, and she was never going to win. She was polling so low, it was pathetic. But she lost in the primary to some no-name fucking Democrat that nobody knows. And
she's the one that lied and said everybody was in the Epstein and some shit, and then got caught in their lie or something like that.
Well, no, she's young. She's a young congresswoman, so she just got into Congress a couple of years ago. So she's got nothing to do with the Epstein thing, but she, of course, chirps about it constantly and talks shit and has no clue what she's even talking about. Relates it back to Donald Trump every time. That's all she ever does. She just is a huge Trump hater. That's all she does. But finally, anyway, she lost the Congress spot, so she decided that she was going to run for Senate. She got destroyed in the primary, but just now, the way they restructured and reorganized voting districts and all that in Texas, she's gotten completely knocked out of it. She can't even run now, but she was going to lose anyway. But she can't. She's not even going to be able to run in the next time. So she's pretty much out of politics for good.
Oh man!
And she deserves it. I understand, she deserves it. I'm not one of those people that I'm not like the liberals where they're willing to take someone completely out of the situation unfairly and unjustly and be cool with it and happy about it. I'm not like that, but this woman absolutely worked herself, got herself right out of a job, and I'm so happy for America that happened because she's just a horrible person, man.
Okay. This next Joe Rogan, they talking about they suspect the blackmail trafficking. We got into that a little bit, but let's check out this.
The Rogan experience.
The point I'm getting to here is, given Jeffrey Epstein's involvement in the BCCI network, given Jeffrey's involvement in the 1990s with all the
foreign policy activities happening in the Middle East at that time. Given Jeffrey Epstein's, involvement through, the early 2000s Clinton era and everything, given his involvement in everything from Israeli to Saudi to British to French high-level government officials, Jeffrey Epstein was investigated by the SEC in the 1980s. He was one of the two people who ran the biggest Ponzi scheme in history at the time in the United States, the Towers financial collapse. Epstein's business partner goes to jail for like 30 years or 20 years or whatever. But Epstein skates completely free. Epstein gets involved in this huge fraud in the U.S. Virgin Islands with this, like $1 billion fraud case in the U.S. Virgin Islands, never prosecuted for any of it. Why is that? Well, one is, he may have, we know in the U.S. Virgin Islands case, he was sponsoring the campaigns, basically, of the politicians there. The prosecutors answer to the politicians. Could be that. But I would be shocked if they're in 40 years of this, where's Waldo, Forrest Gump, he's always in the room, in 40 years of American foreign policy and intelligence activity, money sourcing for that, for all the crimes that Epstein committed, the concern was the same one they had with Rolando Masfer. Don't bring the case, and if you do, bring it in a highly limited way. And that's exactly what happened in 2006, the first time he was indicted. Everybody was up in arms that it was a sweetheart plea deal. It gave protection to all co-conspirators, known and unknown. And it was swooped in quickly before, there was a trial in full, so that lines of evidence couldn't be opened about the network.
It's just crazy that statutory rape is what took it all down, right? Because it's underage hand jobs, right? That's what took it all down.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be what took Jeffrey Epstein down.
Kind of crazy.
Even that has a really interesting geopolitical history. There was a similar scandal in the early 2000s with a private military contractor called DynCorp, which again runs through this Adnan Khashoggi kind of Middle Eastern network. DynCorp got in trouble for trafficking, facilitating the traffic. It was a major U.S. military and CIA contractor for logistics and institutional support and military assistance on the ground for the U.S. military all over the world. They got in trouble basically trafficking underage kids to Middle Eastern sheikhs. And I believe in the early 2000s, and I believe the reason that was alleged by Congress that they did that was to juice the deals with them. That basically, these
all stuff we talked about, and this guy's just a guy, he probably does his research and things like that, but it's just like too much fire to where it's like it's obvious. You feel me? It's like plain in our face, basically, in my opinion. You feel me? But yeah, man.
Well, you know what it is though, like so that statement right there at the end where he was talking about how how the CIA was basically trafficking. They were giving young boys over to the sheikhs, the leaders in Afghanistan, the tribal leaders. They were giving them young boys money to get them to cooperate with them. And people are like, oh my God, like, they probably don't believe it, or they say that we would never do that kind of shit. And it's like, listen, fucking in the world, that's what people tend to do. They do weird, creeped out shit, but especially outside of first world, when you get into like third world countries and shit, children are always taken advantage of, abused, hurt or killed or enslaved. Even in America and even in first world countries, like children are always not always, but children are victimized constantly by adults constantly. So when you have that happening on a regular basis in places in America, in places like America, What do you think is going to happen when you get into a place that's pretty much lawless? When you deal in a place like Afghanistan or fucking, these like war-torn, disgusting third world countries where the people there are fucking low intelligence, hyper violent. You know what I mean? Like they have like no fucking, they don't have first world ethics and shit like that. Like, and they're totally cool with just abusing the shit out of children. So like to think that our government wouldn't be involved in it, it's like, no, the world's a dirty place. And outside of America, that's how the world functions. And we absolutely will have, our CIA would absolutely do something like that. So I don't doubt this story at all. That's how the world works. And we're very lucky because in America, it's not really like that in the open and so common. It happens low key, but in places like Afghanistan and all these third world countries, that shit's wide open. Like I've heard the stories like of soldiers that tell the stories about like when you would go into like small villages or small towns in Afghanistan during the war, you would have like the local sheikh or whatever, whoever like the richest guy was or whatever. These rich men, they would buy young boys, they'd buy like 9, 10, 11-year-old boys, and they have them wear makeup and whatever, like they're boys, but they're little boys, and they put makeup on them and shit, and they buy a bunch of them. They buy one, they buy like 10 if they can, depending on how much money they have. And then they have parades every week on like, say like Friday or some shit. They just wind up having parades, and these guys walk down the street in the middle of these towns with their little harem of little boys, like 5 or 10 of the little boys, and people come out and like clap and laugh, and like they walk down the street with their whole little crowd of fucking boys that they've bought and just sexually abused and shit. It's fucking crazy.
That's wild.
It's not like this happened one time. This is like they do this on the reg across the entire country. Basically, this was happening. It's that guy, the guy that was the sniper. They call him the Reaper. The black guy with the dreads. He was an American sniper, and he'll be on Vlad and shit. You see Vlad. But yeah, he tells that story, and I've heard that story from other guys that do interviews, like Navy SEALs and shit like that, guys that are embedded with the indigenous, and that shit is so common over there for them to just like own, buy, and abuse the shit out of the young boys. It's fucking crazy. It's part of their
scene. And you said before it was said, and I think we got evidence that he had ties with the CIA. And you think about CIA, remember, the crack, remember certain things they did to support the war in the name of security and this and that. Like when you talk about how the world is, and it makes sense because when we need some money, it gets grimy, obviously, because it all came out. We know a bunch of shit that they was doing, and it's like, whoa,
Yeah.
So
we saw how they funded wars, and how they funded and backed political regimes in foreign countries by using drug money and selling weapons, defunct military weapons to bad people, taking that money and buying narcotics from other bad people, and then selling that shit on our streets.
But it's funny how you brought up that thing about the boys in the other countries, because when you think about the CIA, and then they got these other leaders and billionaires in all these countries and warlords and this and that they got to deal with, because it's a matter of national security. So, yeah, it would be a thing to where, Epstein is the guy for that type of shit. You feel me?
Yeah,
wow.
no, like when you're dealing with foreign people in foreign situations, especially when you're getting into like warlords and people that you're going to deal with when you're going into a fighting situation, America wouldn't normally deal with this type of individual, but now that it's coming down to us going there to go to a war, and they're beefing with the same people we're beefing with, you wind up becoming involved with certain type of people that we normally wouldn't get involved with, and those type of people are involved in drugs, they're involved in murder for hire, they're involved in children, they're involved in all sorts of trafficking of people. And just because it's illegal and looked down upon in our country and in the first world, it's everyday life over there in the third world. So our country, our CIA, our government will absolutely play ball when it comes to that type of shit outside of America.
When we think about redacting Only thing that I could think of is national security shit, and some CIA, FBI shit is all up in there, and they know about all of this shit. Like, come on now. That's only.
Again, that's outside of America. That's everyday, normal, typical shit that people don't bat an eyelash at. So, like, it's absolutely something that they'll take part on the low. Now, they don't want Americans to know about it because Americans can't really stop that kind of shit, and Americans just don't get it. The average American just doesn't understand that that's how the world works. But yeah, so they would never want to admit that shit, but they absolutely take part and have feelings and that kind of shit on a daily basis because that's just how the outside world works, and they are involved in it.
Yep. Oh man, all right.
It's crazy out here, yo. It's fucking crazy out here. And what the average American doesn't know or doesn't want to admit or acknowledge is even crazier, bro. Like, it's wild. You know, we're very lucky to live in America. We're very sheltered. Even if you grow up in a really bad place in America, in a really bad, fucked up situation, it's still miles and miles better than, you know, third world countries. Don't get me wrong. People can have a really bad shake in America. I'm not saying you can't, but you know what I mean? Like, no matter how bad your situation in America is, if you want, you can get on a bus and you can leave that town. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's hard and it could be almost impossible, it seems. But at the end of the day, you can literally pick up and just fucking bounce. And you can't do that. So as tough as it is around here, we're very lucky.
United.
Pretty sheltered to the horrors that take place.
I don't like that word because that ain't really a benefit a lot of times, because then some real shit go down and now you're shocked out of your mind and you don't know and you go crazy type of stuff.
Right. No, you're right. No, sure. That's an extreme version of it. But what I'm saying when I say sheltered, I'm not saying with such a negative connotation. I mean, like, we're sheltered from the bullshit like an overhang in the rain. You know what I mean? Like, we see bullshit going on around the world. We see the horrible shit on the news and on Instagram and on social media. However, we don't have to deal with it. When we walk outside of our door, we don't have to deal with that bullshit. But we're aware that it takes place. We're just very lucky that we're protected instead of sheltered. We're protected from that, from a lot of stuff in the world that takes place every day that other people have to deal with, and we don't, because we're very lucky.
I think our show is going to be called The Dark Show.
Today was, I'm a little tired. You can hear my voice.
Nah, it's just we get into some shit, but I think we just discovered, talking to you, that I just discovered in my brain about the redactions is just because CIA and them people was involved and they knew a lot, and they was using Epstein to deal with these freaks over here, whatever over there, and shit like that. So that's what I'm gonna run with right now. So I don't know, because I hate that whole idea of there's redacted names. That's not the victims, and we don't know what the fuck they are. But when you think about, you know, like I said, the CIA, how they've been doing their history, even the FBI, they gonna get grimy to get their guy. They gonna send undercovers in there living like gangsters and terrorists for years and years, undercover the whole time.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, if you wanna get the bad guys, not the idiot that rolls the fucking neighborhood 7-Eleven for a fucking $100 out of the draw. I'm talking about fucking arch fucking criminals. If you want to catch those type of people, you got to bend the rules or flat out break the rules. You gotta be one to catch one type shit when you're dealing with these high level psychopath criminals. So the crazy thing is that our CIA has no fucking problem with getting their hands dirty. You know what I mean? Like, the FBI is a little bit different. They'll still do what they got to do to get their man, but they're heavy compliance. They're out in the open. They're just the national cops basically for America. But when you get the CIA, that's a whole different story, man. They acknowledge that they're not going to acknowledge shit. They're not going to admit shit, and they're going to do whatever to whoever, whenever, however. Like, they will do whatever the fuck they want.
It's amazing.
What people don't realize is that the CIA has an army and a air force and a navy, just like our military does. Like, every boat that the Navy has, there's an unmarked version of it that the CIA has. The CIA has its own little military because seriously, because like, America can't take our Navy or our Air Force and go and get involved in some little skirmish somewhere across the world, we can't just go and do that because of laws and treaties and all sorts of shit that we just can't do that. But the CIA, when they take the American flag patch off their shoulder and they have no identification on them, and they get on the warship, and it's the same thing that we have in the Navy. It's just, it doesn't have any numbers on it. It doesn't have any flags on it. And then they go and they smash on somebody with that thing. It's plausible deniability. It's like, wow, that wasn't us. We're not Americans. They weren't Americans. We don't know who the fuck that was, but like, that's literally how they operate. They just do whatever the fuck they need or want to. And then they just say, no, it wasn't us. That was somebody else.
In the name of security, I gotta get out of here though. Yeah, that was a great show.
Yeah, man. No, I had a good time, but yeah, it's wild what we're getting to watch right now in the media. It's just wild how America is just going around and just taking people off the board and just fucking book-ending situations that have been going on for a very long time that seemed completely unmanageable, like people we could never stop or get a hold of, and he's just going around, and America is just going around and handling business on everybody. In the past month, we've completely changed the fucking political landscape of the world. It's amazing.
Handle BI.
Yeah. In a major fucking way. So, but yeah, man, fucking good show. Fucking shout out to everybody watching, whether you caught it live or you're going to catch it, a little later on or tomorrow. Shout out to you. We're really happy the way things are going, and we're just going to keep doing what we do. So hang in there for us. Definitely tap in, like, subscribe, comment, let us know what you think. And, we're here doing the thing for you.
Facts. That show was great. All right, we out of here.
Yes, sir. Peace.